Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie Hangout, and let's talk about The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. A lot has happened over the course of a little over 2 years, some big changes, some beloved characters just like vanish, like they don't even exist anymore because of reasons. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into what the heck is going on with Season 3 of The Mandalorian, my thoughts on it, what the critics are saying about it. Real critics, not like, people paid to just say good things. I mean, like regular viewers like us. What are the regular fans thinking about this season in episode 1? Before I jump into that, if you're going over, hit subscribe, click notification bell, comment, and like this video. I want to hear your opinion on the first episode of The Mandalorian Season 3. Okay, so Season 2, the final episode of Season 2, premiered on December 18th, 2020. It's hard to believe. It seems longer ago, right? It seems like it's like 5-6 years ago. It's amazing how the years kind of just, I don't know. I think since 2020, our concept of time has kind of been messed up a little bit. But so Disney has had over 2 years to figure out what the heck to do for Season 3. The biggest thing to happen since the end of Season 2 is the whole self-inflicted, and what I mean by self-inflicted, I mean Disney inflicting it on themselves, what they did to Gina Carano. She was a beloved character, Cara Dune. Here you have like a legit strong female character. I mean, psychologically, emotionally, physically. I mean, she's a former MMA fighter. I know she can throw a punch. I know she can kick. I know she could take me down and like put me into an arm lock and I'd be crying like a baby. And I'm man enough to say that's probably what would happen. I mean, she knows what she's doing, right? She is skilled at her craft. She posts a meme basically saying, don't hate people that think differently than you. And of course, the mob, the crazies, they interpret it in the most insane way. She gets fired. Disney treats her like crap. And here's where we're at. Disney was scrambling, and rather than just saying like, okay, we made the wrong move, you're going to come back. We're not even going to say an apology. We're just going to pretend like it never happened. That's the least they could have done, but they didn't do that. And this is what we got right here. So I'm going to jump into it. This article is written by Bounding into Comics. A lot of great articles written by them. The Mandalorian Season 3's first episode reveals how the show writes off Gina Carano's Cara Dune. So much potential with that character. They were actually developing her own spin-off series. How cool would have that been, right? I mean, Disney they just like throwing cash into a dumpster fire. You know what I mean? It's so easy, but they just can't get out of their own way. The first episode of the third season of The Mandalorian revealed how the series dealt with the unjust firing of Gina Carano and the fate of her character, Cara Dune. Carano's Dune was previously serving as the marshal of the planet Navarro. However, it's revealed the first episode she's no longer serving as the planet's marshal. Grief Karga tells Din Djarin, I gotta level with you, Mando. I need a marshal. Djarin then questions, what about Marshal Dune? Karga responds, after she brought in Moff Gideon, she was recruited by Special Forces. The fate of Moff Gideon is also revealed. Karga tells Djarin he was sent off to a New Republic war tribunal. Here he is right there. And I love Carl Weathers. I think he is an underrated actor. I mean, the guy in the 80s, he had one of the best physiques, in my opinion. I mean, when he was next to Sylvester Stallone in those Rocky movies, I mean, he looked way better, I think, from the neck down than Sylvester Stallone. Fantastic. Predator, and he could do comedy too. He was amazing as Chubbs Peterson in, I think it was in Happy Gilmore. Phenomenal. Executive producer and director, man, I'm going to mess up these names so bad. I'm just going to call him Rick. Rick recently noted that Carano's firing and the fate of Cara Dune has been addressed by Jon Favreau and other creatives on the show. Not really. He told Deadline, Kara was a big part, continues as a character to be part of the world. It had to be addressed in the creative, and Jon Favreau took the time to think about that. They could have just brought her back, and they could have just had her be the character. I mean, if you think about it, Pedro Pascal, if you ever go on his social media, it is rambling after rambling of just being angry, calling people terrible names, dehumanizing entire groups of people. I mean, go on his Instagram, go on his Twitter. He's nuts. He's a great actor, but he is unhinged and nuts. But he not only gets his show, he's rewarded with The Last of Us and all these other opportunities. I mean, there's no moral compass in the entertainment business, but you all know that. It was something that had to be discussed, as we knew it was going to have impact on the show, but at the same time, what has been at the heart of the show are the two characters. So ultimately, I feel like a servicing of that and around the Mandalorians. It appears a single line sending her off Navarro into the New Republic Special Forces is how the show is addressing Dune's firing. Ironically, it shows the fatal flaw in the Mandalorian storytelling, given it contradicts how the show previously characterized Cara Dune, or Carano's Dune. In Season 1, Episode 4, Sanctuary, Dune tells Jaren saw most of the action mopping up after Endor, mostly ex-Imperial warlords. They wanted it fast and quiet. They'd send us in on dropships, no support, just us. Then, when the imps were gone, the politics started. We were peacekeepers protecting delegates, suppressing riots. Not what I signed up for, she added. In Season 2, Episode 4, The Siege, after Dune teams up with Karga and Din to remove the remnant of Gideon's forces on the planet Navarro, New Republic Captain Carson Teva attempts to recruit Dune into the New Republic. However, she informs him, I'm not a joiner, Blue. Nevertheless, he leaves her a New Republic badge, implying she's been deputized. I mean, just look how... I just think her character looked cool. You know what I mean? It was just... She had the rebel tattoo right there. I mean, just so many possibilities. The next time Dune appears in a Mandalorian, Din greets her saying, Cara Dune, Marshal of the New Republic. I heard rumors you might have gone legit. However, she responds, I wouldn't go that far. She makes it clear she's not beholden to those rules after being informed that Moff captured Grogu. She aids Din in springing Mayfeld from his hard labor and recruits him to help them locate Gideon's light cruiser. It doesn't really make any sense from a character or story perspective that Cara Dune would all of a sudden join the Special Forces after making it clear she was dissatisfied with the way the New Republic was running things and actively spurn their rules in favor of getting things accomplished. What do you make of this explanation for the firing of Gina Carano? Well, obviously, this explanation, this is really the best they could have done. They don't want to kill off her character, right? Because that would kind of look bad, killing off this strong female character that everybody loves. So they just are kind of like, with one line, sending her off, hoping that everybody would just kind of, with the attention span and memory of a goldfish, forget about the character. But we're not going to forget. There are so many women that dress up as Cara Dune at cosplays, and they're going to continue. And the more Disney pretends like she doesn't exist, the more people are going to show up. So let's go over to Rotten Tomatoes here. So this is Season 3, Episode 1. This is what the paid critics, gave it, 92%. And then this is what the audience, all of us, said, 83%. I think that's pretty fair. Let's get down. I don't even bother reading like the handpicked critics. I mean, it's just a total waste of time. I like to read actually what audience says. So they say this is 1.5 out of 5 stars. I wasn't expecting much, but the first episode didn't deliver. 5 stars, absolutely amazing. And then you got 1 star, avast, this is not the way, massive drop in quality and writing, empty, soulless characters. It's almost as if Favreau and Filoni don't know where they're going. And that's my opinion too. I think that with a lot of these Star Wars spin-offs and series, the creators, they don't know where they're going. They have a general idea, But what has happened at Disney is Disney has created a culture of complete instability. I mean, they were already developing a spin-off series with Gina Carano, and look what happened. She didn't even do anything wrong, and the whole thing got scrapped, and then they have to rewrite a bunch of season 3. She was going to be all the way through season 3, and they had to rewrite all that stuff. You can't just like get an eraser and your pencil and do that, and then, okay, we're good to go. You have to rewrite scenes. You have to take away scenes, add scenes, rewrite everybody's dialogue. I mean, the entire plot, the story arc changes. Every character's story arc changes. So this is why I think a lot of the creators, like even though Jon Favreau is amazing and he's great, you know, I love all of his movies. I think he's a good writer, good director, creative genius. The fact that there's such a culture of instability at Disney, even he can't really, you know, get a handle on it. So I would not expect this season to be better in any way than season 2 or even season 1. Definitely not season 1. And as far as CGI, we already know that Disney has been skimping and being really cheap on CGI. A lot of different CGI companies and VFX companies they've just put a blanket statement out saying they're not going to do anything for Disney because they don't like how Disney treats people. So I would suspect that probably the CGI is going to be a little bit more mediocre than season 2 and season 1. And then the character development is not going to be what it was in the first 2 seasons. But if you like The Mandalorian, if you like Star Wars, if you like some practical effects, it's still probably worth checking out. That's my review. And as always, if you want to get future rants, reviews, or original content, click subscribe. Later.